have you know, Terence celebrated before we were driving away, and this is why this is happening. All right, so we're supposed to be going to Gridlife in like 2 hours, not even. Terence was trying to add the new trailer hitch that I bought, or hitch receiver that I bought that bolts on around the pintle hitch that is like way more bomber and the correct size for this truck. However, it turns out that the old one that we have completely prevents us from installing the new one. It was welded in. So we were like, okay, do we cut this off? Do we like cut all the welds? What we've decided is that considering we're not towing something that big this time, we're gonna actually try to use the original one that was installed. And I'm sure that we're gonna hit another obstacle, of course. This bomber hitch that I ordered from Federal Military Surplus is rad, except for that it's so bomber that it bolts on here and it's gonna hit this stupid, way too small 2-inch receiver that got welded on by the person who did all the dumb work to this truck.
If that's good thoughts here.
I feel like you have not lived the last couple of years.
No, I've had a pretty rough 2 years. Maybe not like you, but yeah, right.
I'm serious.
Okay, just give it a second.
I don't.
It's because relays get stuck, right?
Yeah, but remember, I think this is what we diagnosed for like a few days.
Fun. Literally started this thing like 8 times. No problems.
Yeah, I drove it all around, right? But I made sure to turn everything off. I didn't ever touch that switch when I was driving it, but I did.
And you
The only
shouldn't
thing I
have
can
to.
think of is we tested the trailer lights. I didn't specifically turn. I did the exact thing. I didn't turn the lights back off after we tested the trailer lights.
I just don't know how that has any, like, what the hell the lights have
All
to
I
do
can
with
tell
it.
you is every single time I do that sequence,
Yeah.
this happens. So this has got to be some kind of safety, like so that they don't kill the battery. I think it has to be. No, it doesn't seem very tactical to me.
Well, what if you're in a situation?
That's what I mean.
Like-
It's not very tactical at all. Like, now we just get shot.
Yeah, like we're hiding.
Maybe the thing is we go inside and we get a drink,
Yeah.
and then it's not being watched, and then it'll fix itself, right? Like
Maybe. Just one second. Can't do anything
or
else.
let it
Let
do
it-
all by itself.
Just like this.
Good job.
I wonder if it's always when there's a draw when you shut down the ignition.
I think what it is if there's a draw after the ignition is shut down. It would be like, there's a draw, we don't know what the it is. Until the draw goes away, the relay won't reset. And for a period of time.
And that may also make sense because once you get on and off a few times, it starts being instant.
Yeah.
Because there's not the system hasn't energized.
Yeah. If it needs 10 minutes and we do it at 9 minutes, I feel like we start the clock all over again. I don't know for sure.
See, the thing is, I don't think it's a clock because it all depends
No, it's
on
a
how much.
discharging.
It's a discharging
right?
problem.
But is that?
I got an idea. Okay, I have a technical question. The LMTV is doing LMTV things again, just as we're ready to leave.
We're wondering if there's a draw after it's shut off. Like, for instance, someone doesn't kill the headlights, which are totally independent, that it wouldn't allow the relay to reset for some reason. So I feel like Terence's idea is to make a ground strap and let the system discharge.
So sorry, you want to join a ground strap to where?
The Earth.
Like you want to ground the chassis to the ground?
Like, just drag it on the ground.
I don't know how else to say this, but that's like crackpot. That's not what
I know. It's on a voltage. I get all this. I get all the sides, man. I'm just like, we're literally like trying to like fix a problem that we both are just like beating our heads against.
Unfortunately, the solution to the problem is usually just time. What happens is if I don't kill the headlights when I kill everything else and I don't turn off the battery disconnect, like the full battery disconnect, then it goes into some kind of protection mode for a period of time that we don't know exactly how long. And then it resets eventually. The two theories that I have, one is that it's a feature. It's a battery protective feature where if you leave a draw and the truck is off and it doesn't allow it to keep doing that, and then whatever that circuit is that senses that there's a draw after the truck is off, that probably needs to discharge before you can restart the truck.
That's possibly more plausible, but it still seems weird either way that that's how the military would have it.
Yeah, like I can literally write you a script to create the symptom. I can't write you a script to undo the symptom aside from make sure everything's off and walk away for a period of time. Anyway, so basically the starting sequence switches on, ignition on, loud noise of you're out of air brakes. That fills up. Start it. And then headlights are an independent, like it has all these different modes. So you have to like use a keypad to turn on the headlights. And then if I drive it and I kill the ignition and I jump out and I forget to kill those headlights and I don't turn off both battery disconnects, that's when the symptom happens.
And when you say it won't start, it like doesn't.
No power to the dash,
The
like
re-
no
the relay-
power,
the
no
relay
relay,
doesn't go.
nothing.
The big main relay, like the big chunky one, it makes a big thud when it works.
Yeah.
It's loud.
And then if you then are like shit and you turn everything off, eventually it'll start working again.
Terence, are you able to access the terminals to see if that happens if the relay just isn't turning on, or if there's a triggering problem to turn the relay on?
Yeah, I can access all terminals. I have a piece of 4 gauge ready to go to like bypass it. But from my testing, it doesn't seem like the main power switch, the cutoff switch or the turn off with the main battery switch, that thing is fine. Like I tested that thing 100 times with a multimeter and it never doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know what the if that terminal, like when it's being thrown on in the condition that you just described, Zandar, I'd like to know if there's power and ground there like there should be.
Yeah.
And if there's not power and ground there like there should be, then what's up with that? And then I would just probably for today bypass and put a switch in the battery box or within reach of the battery box, and that's how you're going to disable the truck. Like you can shut the truck off in the cabin without touching that battery kill. And the battery kill is like a def feature, or...
Yeah, there's 3 of them. But there's one that I've never touched, so I'm just not ever going to touch it for the purposes of this. It's never changed positions, it's never affected anything, so I'm just pretending that doesn't exist, because a lot of people don't even know about it. Here's a fun game. It might just start now.
I know, and then we just get there and deal
Then
with
we
it.
just leave. If it starts, I just leave it running till Gridlife. I fuel it with like it running. We get to Gridlife, and then we have days to figure this out.
And we will have some downtime.
Now I've killed enough time that it'll probably just work.
Yeah.
It literally is like it is a time thing. It just discharges in a period of time.
The thing that's also like I still am like I think it's a problem with the relay itself because relays should work on or off. They shouldn't delay to turn on. Like in some scenarios, I would turn it on and it'd be like 1, 2, 3 clunk. And then
But that
after
was before you clean the terminals or after you
before
clean the terminals?
this is purely
So-
me going through process.
Yeah.
But then after and then I would turn the toggle off, then turn it on, clunk, 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 clunk. It was instant. So it's like that relay is almost sticking. And
That's where I started this, was that it's probably a mechanical issue, not a...
Yeah,
I bet you could pull those apart and
I
clean them up.
think you can, and
Yeah.
some people have. So
The other factor there, that this is a theory, not a fact, but if it is mechanically getting stuck in the, like maybe there's a heat factor or something like that, and it's mechanically getting stuck in the open position, when the solenoid is re-engaged, it can't, like it's pulling on it, like it's a magnet, so it's pulling on it, and it takes a little bit of time for it to free up or whatever's happening before it pull all the way back in.
And
that's
it
the time
would get
element.
hot when you're
To me, I'd
running
be
lights
very
and all that.
shocked. Like there could be a protection thing built in it. That doesn't sound very military to me, because the military would probably rather the truck start and light itself on fire than
not go.
die on the side of the road in Kandahar.
Yeah, that's sort of our theory too.
They don't have smarts. Like these trucks don't have brains. Like they are like, look at that relay board. It's beautiful, but it's not a smart machine.
Yeah.
There's no delay.
Yeah.
It's a mechanical problem. There's
which
no
point,
possible way. I bet
So
you
people have taken those apart, those relays, cleaned them. Like
those-
they have shorts within the relays sometimes.
For
Like
sure.
it could be that.
strands get
But,
over
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Well, I'll send you the like specs of the relay that it is, and then we can.
Oh, and another thing too is like if anyone's parting out a big welder, they use a lot of the same stuff. I'm assuming like ones that require that kind of jam, and those things are dime a dozen. So.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I would do, is build the bypass and drive it as far as you can before...
It doesn't die. It doesn't die once it runs.
never
so.
dies.
Again later.
It never dies.
Once it's on, it's on.
Well, I'm not gonna say never. That was a dumb thing to say. I don't use
Yeah,
that
Z.
word. But anyway, I'll have you know, Terence celebrated before we were driving away, and this is why this is happening. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna go try and start it. Okay. Bye.
That is off. Okay.
Okay.
I told you,
It is that switch.
something.
Don't f with it now.
I know. It's not.
Stop touching. You did it. You fixed it.
Woo! We're alive! Hello?
This might be the hottest day of my entire life. I'm in the LMTV. It started. We are driving to Laguna Seca. I bender. He's hot. I'm hot. This thing really needs AC. I'm driving directly into the sun, and it is brutal. And the rush hour traffic is also really enjoyable. But we are on the road. You didn't bring me a beverage?
You don't drink.
That's true, but right now I might, because
I have beers for you.
I kind of had that was awful.
That was one of the worst drives of my
That was
life.
Terrible. But we're here. Everything is unloaded. All we have to do is move one more trailer. I allowed Terence to celebrate, which
Yay.
maybe was slightly premature.
Yay.
We're here. I'm stoked for this weekend.
I'm pulling into the track and just like seeing the flags and
the
then
stars and
we're right by the start line. That's pretty
epic.
cool. We hope to see a bunch of you tomorrow. We're waiting on a few things, so it depends. The setup might change a little bit, but yeah, this is when things get exciting after the horrific drive that we experienced. What elements did you experience?
Definitely
LMTV?
like total whiteout fog, which was wet. Turns out the wipers they're like falling off.
Nice.
So they mostly just smear whatever it is.
Nice.
All the bugs on the windshield.
How hot was it when you
It's the
left?
hottest day of my life.
Yeah,
Hottest day of my life,
and then
followed
what
by
was
the
it?
coldest I've ever been in the same
We got
day.
all the experiences. I'd say we're a
Yeah.
little more comfortable.
Yeah.
And yeah, California, you need to up your highway game. Please.
They're brutal.
Those were brutal, but hey, we made it. Dogs are good. Janae's good.
Good.
We're gonna be having a good time this
All
weekend.
right,
So
let's do it.
cheers.
Yeah.
Peace.